Hey guys, Damien here from School of Attraction. I've had so many of you guys message me to ask whether Tinder Plus was a worthwhile investment. So I decided to sit down with some of my coaches, put Tinder Plus through its paces, and find out if it's a plus size ripoff or an amazing way to get more dates. I've recently seen Tinder Plus get a lot of flack online on the web and on YouTube by people who have had a quick glance at it and said it's an absolute ripoff for what you pay. And I find that really interesting, but I think that part of it is because if you have a really bad profile, in other words, if you can't get any matches anyway on regular Tinder, Tinder Plus isn't going to magically get you matches. But I've certainly found that in 2017, with a bunch of new features that Tinder Plus has slowly been adding, so long as you're getting sort of 3 matches a day on regular Tinder, using Tinder Plus could easily get you 10 or 20 matches if you use it right. So, I think Tinder Plus is absolutely worth the money, and I'm going to show you why. So the first feature, obviously, is the skipped line feature. I think skipped line is amazing. And now I know you can only use it once a week to appear at the top of the list, and that might seem like, wow, once a week for 30 minutes, I get to appear at the top of women's lists in my area. Wow. But I'll tell you why it's really amazing. See, what a lot of guys don't realize in Tinder is that really attractive women, they get matched by like every guy in the area. So, a woman in a city of 2 million people might get 10,000 matches in a week or more. Now, there's no way she's going to look at 10,000 male profiles. She's only going to look at sort of maybe 10, 20, 30, maybe 100 guys' profiles, and, kind of match with the ones she really likes. And all the rest of the guys who match with her, she will never see their profile. So that's one thing we notice with Tinder Regular is you can get really great at getting matches with attractive women, but the really hot, the really attractive women can be much harder. And it relies on something called an ELO score, which is a Tinder ranking strategy that Tinder uses to actually give you a rank and see how attractive it thinks you are overall. And if you've got a terrible profile or if you're not ranking very highly, these women are just never going to see you. So when we use Skip the Line, once a week, we notice a much higher match rate with really high quality women. I highly recommend you use it on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday evening from about 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. There's a lot of reasons behind it that I won't go into now, but that's my little special tip for you. The next feature is unlimited swipes right. In all honesty, guys, I just don't think this is a very useful feature. If you just go randomly hyper swiping every woman you can possibly see, it'll actually it'll damage your ELO score, which is your Tinder ranking. And the worse your ranking is, the fewer women get to see you, the fewer women will match with you and all that stuff. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a terrible feature. Going on, we look at control your profile. Now, this feature isn't useful for everyone, but it is actually really useful for some guys. So there's 2 things here. One is you can actually hide how far away you are from women. And secondly, you can actually hide your age. This is really great for men who are either traveling a lot, because Tinder is amazing if you're traveling, Tinder Plus especially, more on that later, but also men who are sort of over 40. Why it's really useful for men who are over 40 is this. A lot of women, let's say you're 41 years old, a lot of women will put the age of, say, 40 as their cutoff point. And so they will never see your profile, even though you may be a young-looking 40-year-old, young behaving, young at heart, all this kind of stuff. They'd very happily date you in real life if they met you in a bar, but they just organically put that cutoff point because 40 seems like as good a point as any. So what can be really useful is in Tinder, in your Facebook profile, put your age as 38. If you need to create a Tinder-specific Facebook profile to do this, but put your age as 38 or 39, and then hide your age. So women who say, I want to meet men aged between 30 and 40, will still meet you, they'll still match with you, but they won't think you're lying about your age. So they'll match, you'll get to talk to them, they'll ask you how old you are, and then you can tell them, really, you're 41 years old, and they won't be bothered by this. Going on is the control who sees you feature. Look, this feature is really only useful if privacy is an issue for you. I certainly don't advocate people who cheat on their partners, but I know that guys want privacy for more reasons than this. For example, they don't want their friends knowing they're on Tinder. Now, if you're in this position, what essentially you can do is you can only have your profile seen by women you match with. The next feature is the super likes, the 5 super likes a day. Now, I am a huge fan of this as well. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, when guys say, 5 times for 5 specific profiles, I can appear first in their list. But it's more than that. When women first appear on Tinder, when they sort of first go on for a day, for a session when they want to meet guys, the very first, the sort of 5 profiles they see are the 5 profiles most likely to be swiped right to. After that, they start to get a little bit of decision-making fatigue and they start to swipe left very easily. So number 1, that's really useful. Number 2, of course, as I mentioned before, with the skip the line feature, getting to appear first means that women will actually see you and never normally would have. And of course, lastly, when you super like someone, it comes up as a notification on their phone. So they're going to know straight away that someone super liked them. It's a rare event, so women will get excited and go and check it out. They're going to look much more closely at your profile. It gives you a big sort of step in the right direction. Then the next feature is rewind the last swipe. Guys, this is pointless. Don't even bother caring about this feature. I mean, how often do you need to rewind a swipe? Very, very rarely. Control who you see. Again, this is not very useful. If you just focus on a specific demographic of women and you don't really understand how Tinder's ELO ranking system works, I'll do a video on that at another time, but if you don't understand that, you can actually damage your ELO score by fiddling with this. So again, I don't really rate this very highly. The next feature is Passport. Now, Passport is ridiculously useful if you're traveling a lot or if you go on holidays. Definitely recommend using Passport. In fact, if I was traveling and I was single, then I would use Passport. I would pay for Tinder Plus just to get the Passport feature. Passport's also useful, interestingly. A lot of women will actually have a very small radius. So women will often say, I only want to match with guys in a 10-kilometer radius or a 5-mile radius. And so oftentimes, a lot of guys will say, I want to match with every woman in my city. So they'll put like a 20-mile radius and they don't really match well. That's another reason that hurts your ELO score because you don't get high match rates. And those women never see your profile because you're outside of their search range. So what you can do with this Passport instead is just change your location around your city with a small like 5-mile radius. So you can put yourself in one suburb, for a day and do lots of swipes and then move yourself a few days later to another suburb. And then move yourself to another suburb, and that will give you a much higher match rate and a much higher ELO score as well. The last feature is hide ads, and guys, it's not worth it. I mean, Tinder doesn't have that many ads. The ads in the whole aren't that annoying yet, so why would you bother paying to remove them? Don't even bother with it. There is one other hidden bonus to having a Tinder Plus account that I do rate very highly, and that's that I talked about ELO ranking score. Tinder Plus members have a higher ELO ranking score by default. So they're given a boost or a bonus ELO ranking. That is really powerful because it means just for being a Tinder Plus member, more women are going to see your profile in the first place. Guys don't realize how often they're not getting matched with women, not because women are seeing them and rejecting them, because the women aren't even seeing their profile. So the higher you can boost your ELO score, the more matches you're going to get. It's a really powerful feature. So that's my video, guys, on the Tinder Plus feature. Again, if you can't get matches on Tinder regular, if you've got in other words, if you have a bad profile, trust me, it's not about looking hot. It's about having a really powerful profile. Do some research on how to achieve that. We teach that for a living. But if you don't have a good profile that doesn't get matches, Tinder Plus won't do a thing for you. Don't even bother. But if you're able to get 3 matches a day, Tinder Plus is really powerful. And proof of that is that my Tinder coaches, the Tinder coaches who work for me, all of them use Tinder Plus. Even though they're perfectly capable of getting matches with women on normal Tinder, they know that Tinder Plus allows them to get matches with the really, really stunning women on Tinder that have always seemed to be unobtainable for them. So that's my review, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I've got many more like it. Share this with a friend who you think could benefit, and I'll see you in my future videos.